Passing through the veil of mystery, seeking answers no one is brave to ask. This is Bound to Truth.
Everybody, welcome to Bound to Truth. This is the first episode of 2026. Why so long, you say? Well, this guy had a lot going on in his personal life. Nothing that's bad, nothing good, just life in general. But I did get remarried. Since I couldn't find a date, I just remarried my wife. She'll love that one. So no, I'm very happily remarried again and enjoying my time with her. I took a break for a little bit for personal reasons. I'll elaborate that more because I don't want to take time away from a guest that we've had multiple times during the podcast. But this is the first episode of the year. Like I said, I needed time to reflect and do a lot of things and really realign the intention of this podcast, especially because of what a lot is going on when it comes to the paranormal UFO world, extraterrestrial interdimensional, what do you want to call it? There's a lot of weird stuff that's already hitting hard in 2026. I'm sure out there you all agree. And the person that I thought would be a great way to launch this first episode for 2026 is Gary White, and I'm very blessed to call my brother. I'm very glad to have him back. Gary, how are you, buddy? What's new? Talk to me. Get down to it, and then we'll elaborate on some thoughts and questions I have for you.
Cool. Christopher, thanks again for having me on. Always a pleasure to see you. Yeah, kind of like you. You know what I just recently went through, almost died.
Yep.
Well, two heart attacks, a stent, congestive heart failure, stage 3 kidney failure, and pneumonia all at one time.
Wow.
I feel much better. I'm not 100% there trying to get these meds sorted out, but it was close, Christopher. I've always jokingly told people I got the lives of a pregnant cat. Um,
You look
I-
good though, man. You're always laughing when I talk to you though. Like I believe you, but somehow you come out smiling always, man. You
and
do have lives of a pregnant cat.
I do. I feel 100% better. I mean, I couldn't breathe. They took 2.5 liters of liquid from around my lungs. I couldn't
Holy
breathe.
crap.
My lungs were collapsing, and they kept telling me, "You got the flu. Go home. You got the flu. You go home. You got the flu." Finally, I got a good buddy out here. Very good friend, man. If it wasn't for him, I quite possibly could be dead. He said, "You look like a little old man, dude. You need to go to the hospital."
Yeah.
So I went in, and it wasn't the flu, and it wasn't bronchitis. It was much worse.
Wow.
And hey, man, I survived it. I'm here, meant to be, Christopher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Amen, brother.
And
Amen.
it's a pleasure and an honor to see you and to be your first podcast of the year.
Thanks, Gary. And I know I've been a little bit out of touch. Like I said before, just a lot going on. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you. You've done a podcast with Randy and I and Cody, I think, before. I went to his property in Minnesota in September. And by the way, this is when everything kind of started getting tough for me personally after I came back. I will say this because it's going to be a two-part documentary. John Hirsch has been gracious to work on this project, and I will say this without giving away. I know what I saw. I know what I experienced, and I'll tell you this: I still don't believe what I saw, but I know what I saw. That's all I'll say.
I know that feeling.
That's all.
100%,
That's all I can.
100% no.
That's all I can say, and I will say this: this is not going to be the documentary. I'll say this in addition. The night, the things that were really intense at his property, there was multiple UFOs.
It's all connected.
It was like like Skinwalker. I
Yeah.
always joke with Randy, you are the Skinwalker Ranch of Minnesota where you have it. The UFOs I saw were three or four multiple ones. The way they were moving were not normal. And then one thing that happened was when this object in the sky, it brightened up like this.
Hmm. seen it. I've been through that.
And did I film it or anything? No, because and this would be more of the documentary why regarding to the Sasquatch about filming. I didn't do that because of respect of his relationship that he has with the Sasquatch. All I can tell you is what I experienced, and you can just believe it or not, I don't care. All I know is that's something I can take to the grave and know what I saw. And that's pretty much it. But what I want to dive into is I'm glad you're alive. I know we've had multiple conversations with that, and my gosh, dude, your heart is incredible. Thank God that you're just still alive. You look great. You always smile when I talk to you, especially when those times you talked about having those moments and going through what you're going through. But I'll tell you this, man, you're an inspiration to me because I'm a person who doesn't like surprises, you know. And
Thank you.
so, and I gotta say that to me, it's a trait that I always want to build and establish, and you have my respect for that. But what I want to dive into is it's this 2026. Well, we'll back up a little bit. 2025. Into 2025, 2026. We have Charlie Kirk getting assassinated. We have the Age of Disclosure by Dan Farah that came out in I think November, December regarding UFOs and the debriefings with but what 30 something government officials. But again, I'll get your thoughts on that, right? We'll get your thoughts on that. We're seeing the buildup of all this stuff. And then 2026, we're going to war right now with Iran. But before that, we had Obama, who went on a random podcast. Again, that's not a bad thing, about how aliens are real and so forth. And of course, he backed up his comments. And then Trump talked about how he uh, basically broke government secrets, but then like all bail him out and so forth. All of a sudden, he has text on Truth Social regarding that. Hey, I'm doing this task force to do this stuff and all this stuff and disclose all this information we have on it. To me, okay, it's great, but to me, it's kind of BS. You know, because even if they come out and say, "Here's an alien body, here's us real," how do we don't know. I did recently watch an episode with Weaponized with Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. I'm sure you know who George Knapp is with Bob Lazar, right? They
Yeah.
did one with Matthew Brown, and he talked about his whole interview with the skiff. I think it's the OD something, whatever. But it came out being kind of like instead of being a protective whistleblower, it came out being a witch hunt, like to find out what he knows. There and then of course we got the movie Age of Disclosure by Steven Spielberg, which I gotta say personally is one of the most amazing sci-fi people when it comes to that stuff with not just E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind, in addition to what's his name? The guy who did Star Wars. Oh my God, I forgot his name.
Or Lucas.
Oh my God, I'm going to hell for that one. George Lucas.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
but anyways, we got a lot of going on that's spinning. We got this movie that came out this Friday called Project Hail Mary, right? With Ryan Reynolds, like Ryan Gosling. There's a lot of sci-fi stuff when it comes to aliens, UFOs, and all this stuff. We got war. I mean, again, it's chaos and it's chaotic. Plus, in addition to that, there's a lot of social media and YouTube videos regarding this subject, which it's almost funny. There's some great information I do like, and there's some like this is becoming more of like a dressing for a fashion show, like I told you earlier. So with that being said, that's a lot what I'm saying to you, brother. Organize your thoughts. Give me your thoughts. Talk to me. What's going on in your mind right now with what I just said and what you're feeling?
The first thing that come to my mind, and it has for some time, Christopher, a lot of it is financial driven. If you look, I mean, they got kids' underwear with that alien face, the eyes. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Games, corporate logos. This has become very popular and it's become a money driven thing. You know what I'm saying? Where are their intents? Are their intents towards getting to the truth? Or are their intent towards making money? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm really wondering. Steven Spielberg, I get it. I saw an interview with him, and he says he believes in these beings. I
Mhm.
believe that's true.
Mhm.
But he also says, I have no idea what they're about. I believe that's true. I've tried contacting, dude, I've tried contacting George Knapp, Steven Spielberg, anybody within this industry to
Mhm.
be My thing is, dude, they need to look at us ordinary people that these beings are choosing to communicate with. They're not choosing to communicate with Steven Spielberg. They're not choosing to communicate with scientists. They tried the scientific route back with this Roswell and all of that. They tried to give us the tools to avoid where we're at right. We're in a freaking mess, man. You
It's
said war.
it's
It's
it's it's chaotic.
it's chaotic.
It's such confusion, like we talked earlier, like with Jeffrey Epstein, with all the crap that's coming out. It's almost like no one cares.
But the thing is what is it being used for? Is it a distraction? What are they distracting us from? It's become such a mess, and we briefly talked about this before starting
Mhm.
show here. Is it for me? It's become very frustrating. It's been 39 years, Christopher, that
Yeah.
I'm communicating with these beings. I'm fully honest with what I'm doing. I don't hold nothing back. I don't have a problem with telling people things they may not want to hear. Okay. I
Right.
simply share what I've learned from them. And it's become frustrating because I'm competing with money and
Yeah.
disinformation.
Yeah.
It's like this movie. A lot of this has come to the point where I don't watch a lot of these, Christopher. I'm interested in what Steven Spielberg's doing, but is it just another blockbuster movie and taking advantage of what is trending right now?
Well, well,
Person,
the timing of it with Dan Farrow when he did Age of Disclosure, which he was one of the executive producers for Game Player One, with Steven Spielberg. He came out with that Age of Disclosure back in December. It was December, and all of a sudden, 6 months later, you got Steven Spielberg doing the Age of Disclosure. So you got or no Age of Disclosure. You got Dan Farrow who did Age of Disclosure in December, right?
yeah,
And then you got Steven Spielberg 6 months later doing Disclosure Day. Coincidence? I don't know. And then you got the rumor about Trump doing a whole disclosure July 8th. Again, rumor. So it's either BS or just another distraction. I don't know, but it's just weird, like the timing of it all.
the timing's odd. And really quick, this let's look at this whole Trump thing.
Right.
Trump, come on, man, ego, dude. You know what I'm saying? This dude not only is motivated by money, he wants to be known as this guy to end wars, to all this groundbreaking, da 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 da. What's with the delays, dude? Why has he? It goes right back to where okay, they do this TR3B. Okay, this is made by Skunk Works and blah 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 blah.
Oh
Come
yeah.
on, man.
I know about
If
TR3B. It's been around, it's actually been around for a few decades.
so, if they had this, it's been around for decades. They spent trillions of dollars engineering this. Trump wants to go down as the dude who ends these wars. Seems to be he's creating wars. I don't want to get into the political thing, not my
Yeah.
world.
Right, totally, totally.
But if they had these technologies, wouldn't he be using these to end these wars? World War II. What ended World War II? Atomic bomb, man.
Well, I'll say this. So Trump did mention, example, the president from Venezuela,
Yeah.
they captured I do like in 5 minutes,
Uh-huh.
pretty much, right? They also talked about the space technology, not in detail, about how they were able to target places in Iran to do what they're doing. So they're talking about Space Force using some technology, how they're advanced they are. There's no details about that. Does that talk about the TR3B? I don't know. I have no idea. But there's been small talks about that from Trump regarding using new space tech about how we're winning these wars or the wars or invasions, depending on, again, not going political, like you said. I'm saying here, I don't want to go political, but with these attempts to get their targets. It's been very vague, but he's talking about using space tech.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they've had that technology for a long time, Christopher. I
I
mean,
agree.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're talking United States versus Iran.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Dude, that's
or even Venezuela. I mean,
Venezuela,
yeah.
dude, it's like us against these aliens. If we were to go to war with these beings, we would stand no freaking chance of possibly winning or dominating. It's, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous.
I'm gonna
My
I'm,
thing,
I'm gonna pin that comment later for the end. on that one
Okay.
because
Okay.
I think it's a great point, a great comment you made there, and I'll ask why because that's going to be a black and white comment. Maybe not. I don't know. But
Okay.
anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just to me, if he's had this technology, why are they not using? Why are they seeing this triangular craft? And I've been up close to this triangular craft where I could hear the thing. And
Man,
these are, everyone says they're silent. They're not silent. You got to be really, really, really close to hear them.
so would you say
Okay.
they're man-made with exotic tech that's from not this plane or what sorry sorry, I'm glad it made you laugh. I love it. But I'm curious, is it our tech
Yeah,
that is something we fully made or is it tech that we've made influenced by exotic technology?
Christopher, my experience, there is no way on this planet that that was human.
Okay.
For one, this thing is 30 feet above my buddy's head.
Mhm.
Sounds like a hive of bees in one of those didgeridoo, those Australian wow, wow, wow. It's making this noise. This thing's 30 feet above our head. Blink, it's gone. Instantly appears and looks like a star.
What year was this?
This is in the 90s. This was late
Oh,
90s in the San Francisco Bay Area.
okay.
Okay.
Wow.
And it did this several times. It followed us. We followed it. We'd start following it. It'd disappear. It'd be a star. We'd, okay, give up, turn around, then above us again. Um, that I do not see humans being able to do. The second thing is they're communicating with me mentally while doing this.
Which honestly is now becoming more of an actual concept of believability with psionics.
With what?
With psionics. Like MK Ultra and all that stuff, like mentally and so forth, like communication. So
Yeah.
I bear with when I comment on this because back in the day, people were like, oh, you're crazy. Aliens talk to you mentally. It's impossible. Now it's like a real thing. Not just aliens, but like with the government research when it comes to humans using psychic abilities and doing that,
Mhm.
using advanced technology. I'm not. What I'm saying is that's becoming more of a believable thing now. I guess they call it psionics or mind speak type of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so with that being said, regarding the TR3B and so forth, do you think that disclosure will be coming soon? But now when I say okay, let me ask this better. Are you thinking disclosure is going to happen, but not the way we expect it to be? You think there's going to be more of a narrative control?
I don't think this disclosure is going to come from our government.
So elaborate why?
Elaborate why?
Yeah.
How about this, Christopher? Our government screwed up. This whole bit, and I've sent you a post that I've done.
Mhm.
This started before Roswell. Okay, these beings wanted to make contact. They seen what's coming up with the nuclear. Okay, with the destruction, they see time different than we do. They see it as a whole. So they see where we're at right now.
Right.
We're going to go in, we're going to attempt to give them the tools, try to de escalate all of this. So, right about the time the 30s, the time of War of the Worlds, they start to appear. It's a gradual thing. If a UFO come down, landed, people are going to freak out. If they were to do it right now, people would freak out. Miami, this whole thing with the aliens appearing in Miami, people
Oh
going
yeah.
hysterical.
Oh
Prime
yeah.
example.
Yep. I know,
Okay.
like 50 police cars.
Yeah. Okay, so this what is this, Orson Welles or whatever does this War of the Worlds and broadcasts this fake broadcast for being invaded. People get hysterical, people actually kill themselves.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I heard. Yeah, I remember that. I
So
mean, not
that time,
remember. I remember about
you
the.
know,
Yeah, yeah. It almost like it was a test.
it's like me, it was, I don't know if it was a test or it was just a poor timing joke on his part, but it kind of derailed what their intentions were as an acclimatization process to gradually build in. Let's communicate with these humans. Now the humans are completely freaked out on us. So what we're going to do is we're going to stage a crash. This thing crashes in the desert. They come
Ah,
out. You got three of them. They're all half dead. Three die. One lives. The humans are no longer scared because they got the upper hand because this thing's injured.
the upper hand.
The upper hand,
Yeah.
exactly. They're
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
They're right.
A sense of control.
A sense of control. There you go. So
Yeah.
then they communicate with these beings, and you could look, and there were different. A good buddy of mine I talk with about this. One of my good friends. One of the few good friends that takes me serious. Okay. Um, he says, dude, at the same time of Roswell, this happened around the world in different countries. Exactly. And what they tried to do is de-escalate the frickin' nuclear arms, whether it was through the president. I mean, some people say, okay, Eisenhower did an agreement, said you could abduct humans and exchange for information or whatever. They kind of screwed that up. It's not a matter of they could abduct humans. They allowed them to have access to United States land and military bases. Their bases that are under, not military.
Well, so
Okay.
there's another addition to that story. I'm sure you heard of this.
Hmm.
Is before Eisenhower met with supposedly the Greys, is he met with the Nordics, and that like, hey, we have all this technology to solve all the problems of the world,
Yeah.
sickness, energy, all this stuff, but you have to disarm your nukes.
Yes.
Eisenhower said no,
Yes.
and then the Nordics warned them about the Greys, about being nefarious about their stuff, right? Like, hey, you let us abduct humans, we'll use some tech. And that was a deal that supposedly made. Here's the thing. I think you made a great point, though. That false sense of security and control, because any superior species really doesn't have to make an agreement with us. They're that superior. They don't have to,
Exactly.
they
Thank
don't have to
you.
do jack squat. They don't have to do jack squat. So with these grays, but I think you're right. It's like, hey, we don't have to jack squat, but if we can create a sense of control in a way that make them think they're in control, but we're actually in control, type of thing. If that makes any sense. But that's a really good point. Is the introduction of these beings, benevolent or malevolent? It's like maybe they're saying achievements, like what you're saying. It's like, hey, they freaked out about this, about this. We don't want them blowing themselves up and blowing up us somehow. Like we because it's
Okay.
because there's something special. Does it make sense where I'm going with that? It's
Yeah.
like there's a purpose. Man, it's good.
Can I say something here?
Please go ahead.
Okay, you nailed it right on the head, dude. Not just blowing ourselves up, blowing up this planet. Dude, this isn't just our planet. Now, see, there's a confusion here with the Nordics, what I call the Sinye, the Nordics, the Palladians, the Anunnaki, those that look like us.
Yeah.
Those are my guides. Those are what I've been communicating with for 39 years. Then you've got these grays. They're not nefarious. They're working as a team. Christopher, is what's going on. These grays are doing genetic development. They're developing physical bodies.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Why? It's the creation of life. They use this planet as a biological warehouse of genetics to basically colonize different star systems. So not only they're developing the genetics, let me finish my train of thought here.
Mhm.
Got Ray's doing the genetic end. That's why they're doing the freaking abduction thing. And you'll hear certain abductees say, yeah, in the background, there's humans standing watching this, and it's US military. It's these freaking Nordics. It's the Sinye. Okay. The Sinye are the overseers, the orchestrators, but they are also involved in the soul development into this, higher mental development, psychic development. It's two separate things. They're working as a team. Okay. So they're not adversaries. This is all a team. And then these reptilians, it's another big misconception that they think, oh, the royal family are freaking reptilian. The reptilians are more the true hybrid, and it's a test of doing both functions of soul development and genetic development. Once we complete our human development, those stages of development, we go on to be what's considered God, which we'd be the senior CEO of the organization.
So let me ask you this.
Oh,
I so when you say that about being God, right?
yeah.
I think about and this is I think about like Scientology, right?
Okay.
I think about L. Ron Hubbard, who was actually a disciple, I would call a disciple of Aleister Crowley, him and Jack Parsons.
Hmm.
You know, but what's weird is how much Scientology I'm not saying Scientology is right. By the way, I'm not promoting Scientology. I'm not doing that. I'm not talking bad about that. It's a belief. That's a thing. We all have our things. But it's almost like it's kind of got an idea of what extraterrestrials are doing to us. It's like enhancing the soul, being better. So in addition to that, one of the things that I won't forget with Bob Lazar, Bob Lazar, right? Very,
Absolutely.
very famous about his experience on S4 Area 51.
Absolutely.
He is the one who exposed Area 51. He's the one who talked about element 115. It wasn't on the periodic table. People thought it was stupid, and later on became a real thing. But
Hmm.
he talked about something with George Knapp that was very missed about how he really talked about how that aliens, extraterrestrials created religion to protect our containers. This specify what does it mean containers? But talked about protecting our containers. Can you elaborate that? Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, containers 100%. I've heard that used many times. That's just physical body.
Of what?
That's another word for a physical body.
Okay.
A physical body. It could be a human, it could be a dog, it could be a cat, it could be a tree, it
A
could be
life.
these are all physical bodies. That's what these grays are engineering. Go back really quick. I want to say this. I want to
Yeah.
mention this. You mentioned L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
And at one point back in the 80s, I broke my ankle. I was laid up, and my aunt, I always wanted to read Dianetics. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
L. Ron Hubbard is a fictional writer.
He
He
is.
wrote fiction. Okay. I started reading Dianetics. You read a chapter, it'd try to sell you something. You read the next chapter, it's trying to sell you money, money,
Right.
money.
Because you got to earn, you got to pay more, you got to sign this
You got to
contract
pay
over.
more to advance.
Yeah.
I had a singer. I mean, me and you relate. We got that music thing going on. I had a singer. His mom was high up in Scientology, and he said, "Yeah, freaking nutcases." I mean, come on, dude. Look at Danny Masterson.
Yeah.
Look at some of these people that look at. I mean, what is this Leah Remy that come out and said, "Look, this is what Scientology did to me." It's a cult, man. Is it real? I don't buy into it myself. Like I said, I couldn't get past maybe 3, 4 chapters of that book and I threw it out. So all you're
Well,
trying to do is milk me for money.
let me ask you this question.
Huh.
Do you think because of what's going on, going back to the religion aspect, in addition to Scientology,
Gotcha.
do you think because of what's going on with the UAP field, with what's going on with supposed releases, we talked a little about Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, we know about a lot. Everybody knows about a lot of ways done, but there's also a lot of talk about UAP's demonic rituals and
Yeah.
just longevity of life. Um, do you think there's a new religion that is sort of kind of slowly organically being created because of this information, like disinformation or information? Any thoughts on that?
I hope not. Let me say this, Christopher. I know you're religious. Okay. I
Race
got
Catholic, yeah.
I
Yeah.
good friends that are good Catholics, good Christians. They're out to do the right thing. But then again, I would never use the guy's name. A guy I played in a band with, very talented guitar player, singer, could write the harmonizing vocals and all this. This dude would shoot dope. He would go to Burlingame, California, rich people, home invasions, rob people, okay, go to prison. Oh, Jesus died for my sins. I'm absolved of all that and everything's cool. Get out of prison, go right back to it. He kept doing this back and forth.
A cycle.
Yeah, he get in that cycle. Religion has a very, very important place. It's really a test. Are you true to your religion? Or are you using it for a damn crutch? You know what I'm saying? I
That,
would hate to see
yeah.
something created now for the wrong thing. You
I
know, this
think,
this is why I'm a Buddhist myself. You got no dogma. It's not about all of that heaven and hell and the rituals. I mean, you got satanic rituals, you got Catholic rituals. I mean, what's the difference between a Catholic and a Christian? A few rituals, really, right?
well, you say that with Catholics and Muslims, right? It's different to rituals, but yet that's the supposedly the same entity. I would say this for me personally is I strive to always try to do the right thing. I'm not perfect. I care about always doing the right thing for myself and for other people. Um, you know, and I would say this with like Christianity, right? One of the things that I tell people when it comes to the cross with Jesus, right?
Mhm.
And this is a whole nother conversation we go to down the road, in regards to theories about that. But one of the things that I find very interesting is that you have a man historically, believe it was if he was a deity or not, who died on the cross for the sins of mankind because of the blasphemous natures regarding him. The idea of someone dying for the sins of the world, still mocking the cross when his own people is extraordinary. That's to me, it's a lot of love. It's like the ultimate forgiveness, right? And the hard thing is, I guess it's like, well, people's like, well, it's saying that we're all bad people and so forth, and then people are like, well, I'm not a bad person. Well, we're all corrupted because of the sin of Adam and Eve and all this stuff. No one's good except we're good through the blood of Christ. Um, and personally, I do believe in that personally. I don't believe in making it, like you said, a money-making thing. I don't believe in that. That you shouldn't sell salvation. Salvation shouldn't be sold, made money off both on, again, being raised Catholic. I'm a proud Catholic. Or you're Christians, but it's like it shouldn't be sold where it's like, oh, if you want forgiveness, you need to do these things, right?
Mhm.
A ritual thing. Those are things I think, like my grandmother told me this, is that religion's a way that man has tried to communicate with God. It's our way of sense of control, when yet we should let go and just embrace the nature and the embodiment of what we have around creation. And that the Bible is supposed to be not a punishment to mankind, but a love letter of mercy to mankind about God's grace and mercy. That's my thoughts. I'm not trying to convert anybody or anything like that. That's not that's what I believe in, type of thing. Uh,
Mhm.
and am I perfect in my belief? No, because I have my own stuff. I try to have control of everything, because I don't want to make a mistake. But at the same time, I have to realize I'm a human being. I'm going to make mistakes. It's about my intent. I don't know if
There you go. There you go, Christopher. You just nailed the nail on the head. It's about intent.
yeah,
Ain't perfect. I'm not perfect.
right.
By far, I'm far from perfect. With all that said, dude, I believe in Jesus. Don't believe biblically. How about that?
Okay.
That's other conversation we could get into. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I just got a problem with this cross thing. That was a murder torture device, man.
Yeah.
And do you really think that that's how he would want to be remembered? He did so much different work, and he's remembered for his worst day on the planet.
Wow. That's well said. That's well said.
You know?
That's well said. He's done so much work, but he's remembered on his worst day on the planet. Gee,
Yeah.
that dude, wow.
You know?
Hey, well said. That is well
And
said, brother. Jeez.
Christopher, it goes back to the original question here.
Yeah.
They created a new religion, and that's why I say I hope not. I mean, dude, we need to get to the truth. I've been trying for 39 years. I believe in every bit of my soul. What I share with people, these theories, what they've taught me is the truth. Our upcoming, what we're about to deal with, and a lot of people, like we before the show talked about Bashir, whatever.
Yeah,
And
but share about
yeah,
the guy who communicates with the being.
exactly.
So
And
what's your thoughts about that guy?
eyes blinking, and it's like, come on, dude, I've channeled these beings. They've spoken through me, standing, talking to people, and it's not like that.
Well,
It's
you know what?
angelic.
Can I share something with it? So you know
Sure.
how Bashir communicates with
Yeah.
his hands crossed like this,
Yeah.
right? And you hear the like throw
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So if you watch the intro of Disclosure Day, Emily Blunt's character does the same thing.
I think it's a show.
So
I sell it.
you think Bashir is not legit?
I don't think so. No, I
Okay.
really don't. I
Okay.
think, well, he's making money. He's about money. He's telling them everything they want to hear. Oh, 2027, the aliens are all going to come public and everything's going to become lollipops and popsicles. And
Willy Wonka.
huh,
Willy Wonka.
come on, dude, we said it in the beginning that we're in a world of mess right now, man.
Yeah.
Between human trafficking, drugs, fentanyl, wars, everything going on, dude. I can't go into that.
Yeah, I
That's
know, I know.
insane. And I
That's a
can't.
whole nother conversation for sure. But yeah,
No, what I'm getting at is it's scary, dude. You cannot allow your kids to go outside by themselves.
Yeah.
It's dude. When I was a kid, we could ride our bikes until dark, out at dark, doorbell ditch. Dude, you can't do that shit no more. This
Dude,
world is
yeah.
so screwed up, man.
Dude, brother, I remember my friends and I used to go out at night in the evening.
Exactly,
We used to go out,
exactly.
like we were 10 years old, 9, 10 years old. Just go at night.
Now I'm Christopher. Let me finish what I'm my
Sorry.
train. I just don't see this turning around to the Willy Wonka and everything's hunky dory fine overnight, dude. The only thing that's going to change is the path we're on is going to be catastrophic. I think I've said this on your show a couple of times.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't have a problem saying, you know, I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'll go, yeah, Bashir, whatever his name is saying this and support the guy. Because, dude, it's not reality.
Yeah.
It's not going to just turn around. People said the new earth. Okay, the new earth. All the bad people are going to go away. A1 Atlas, dude. Come on, dude. Look at all of this with A1 Atlas. It's filled with aliens. They're going to come harvest us and eat us. They're going to change the world around. What happened with A1 Atlas, Christopher? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Remind me of was it Hellbop? Comet Hellbop? Remember the
Remember Hellbop?
yeah,
Remember that?
yeah.
What was the one? Is that the one where the dudes, the Heaven's Gate, where
The
they
Heaven's
all
Gate, yeah. They
killed?
killed themselves in San Diego. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. It's New Earth. New Earth is going to be ugly before it gets back to normal.
Dude,
Normal being this yin yang. You got the balance of power, the two fish looking. Dude, you got to have the good and the bad. How would you know the good without the bad? We're learning complete human understanding. How are you going to know a good human from a bad human unless you learn both? You got to learn both. But right now, we're way off balance, dude. Things are horrible.
well, that's the thing I was gonna bring up is like how do we know? Because that's I mean, line with your comment is how do we know? Because of so much confusion and disinformation is going on there
Dude,
regarding the subject. Not just in extraterrestrial, but in the spiritual world, if you want to call it that.
it's become a mess. And it's become, like I said, I just said within a couple of friends, friend posted this thing, a post in Iran with all these orbs. Okay, I'm sure you've seen it going around Facebook. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay. Two different types of orbs they're showing in that thing, Christopher. They're showing the orbs that people are seeing that are these craft. And then they're showing the guy's face with all these, I mean, 60 of them. Those are spiritual orbs, and those are non-human craft orbs. Two different things. It's all AI, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And these people are going, oh my God, don't take it away from me. I want so much for these aliens. The aliens are here. They've been here. They've been here before us, and they ain't going nowhere, dude. Goes back to this being their biological warehouse. Sure, they don't want to see us put ourselves through hell, another nuclear war, da 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 da. Dude, it's frustrating, Christopher. And these people go, don't shatter my bubble. Yeah, would you rather know the truth or would you rather just be a sheep being led down the carrot dangled in front of your face, man? You know,
Yeah, I do, Gary, and that's why I took a break from the podcast. It's one of the
really.
main reasons. Because of there's so much input that the human brain and mind can take. It's like my filter's not big enough to deal with all this stuff that's happening. And that's why I had to really take a break and really process like going back to intent. What's my intent with doing this? Am I gonna make a splash? Am I trying to make big hits? Am I trying to do that? Like I said before in the podcast, I don't care. I don't care about sensationalizing, like making it sensational and making it this visual thing and all that stuff and just creating fear or it's like I'm not here to do it in a way where it's going to satisfy someone's brain of like wow type of thing. It's more of like this is information and a conversation.
Hmm.
Not
Gotcha.
saying I'm not saying that I'm right. Not saying you're right. We don't know everything, but it's about the intent about what we're trying to talk about. And
Yes.
that's what's important is the intent, right? Just like a preacher. Like you got those prosperity gospel people. Like they can preach all about Jesus, but they miss the message about love, type of thing. Love and sacrifice, those things. And I guess that's my intent too. Um, my question is, another question is, we talk about Bashir. You don't know too much about Chris Bledsoe, do you?
A little bit.
So his whole event back in the 1970s where he met this lady of light and it's how connected with Christianity is a whole freaking thing. He talked about how something, again, the predictions can happen on April 3rd, potentially, or September or October, depending on his information regarding
Hmm.
regarding the return of Christ, right?
Gotcha.
Do you think that's another way, just attempt to disinform people about prophecy in a way when it comes to not just spiritual but just extraterrestrial? I mean, do we really know? Is there? I mean,
We don't, Christopher. Yes, we don't know. Um, I have no proof of my claims. You know what I'm saying? Do I believe them? Absolutely.
yeah,
Then again, I've been face to face with these beings, Christopher. I got over 100 scars on my body with an explanation of why these scars, what they're doing.
yeah,
It makes sense. And I get a lot of people that follow me that say, hey, what you're saying makes sense.
yeah.
It aligns with my beliefs, but with what I've learned. Talk with a lot of people that communicate. I'm not the only person communicating with these beings. This has been going on since the 1950s. That's when they started this whole bit with, oh, these people are communicating with these aliens that are human in appearance and they're nutcases.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our government's screwed up, Christopher. They don't want us to know the truth. They could have avoided this whole mess we're in right now, but they didn't. They did the wrong thing with the information.
Why is that?
Why did they make their decisions they made?
Yeah. I think I know the answer, but I'm curious what your thoughts.
It could go right back to what you're saying in this whole thing with they could have de-escalated the whole nuclear thing. But with that said, Christopher, these beings have proved they will shut down nukes. They've
They
done it.
have. Nope, they have. They have.
You know what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah.
That was the real issue.
Yeah.
There's something deeper. But there's certain things, I believe, and I openly say it, there's going to be a cataclysmic event, polar shift, whatever it may be. Something needs to rock this world and shake our modern conveniences, bring us back to a simpler way of life and adjust the intentions of humanity upon humanity. That's a big problem right now, man. I'm right now, all this medical thing I went through, my job fires me over this. So now I'm trying to figure out my financial situation, Christopher, so I don't lose my house. So I got income, roof, food, so I can continue to do what I do and help people for free. That's my goal. That's my intention. Okay. Dude, it's so hard to find a freaking job without being scammed. Last year, 2025, I had to replace my debit card 3 times because it got hacked. This all has to adjust, man.
Being in the financial industry, that is unfortunately not uncommon.
No, I know it's not. It's very common,
It's bad.
especially against the elderly.
Yeah.
They prey upon the elderly today, barely making it paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it goes back. I don't know. There's certain things they won't tell me. Probably for one, Christopher, I got a big mouth. I will say things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want to come kill me. They're going to come kill me. What can I do? I'm going to die one day. I just almost did. We're all going to die.
Well,
So,
if they did, they tried to.
Christopher,
You're still smiling. Yeah.
it wasn't them. It wasn't them. My past caught up with me, man. My past caught up with me. I mean, I'm be 64 years old this year, and um, I've been very honest with my past. Bands, party, drugs, alcohol,
Yeah.
overdose, Chris. I mean, when I'm in the hospital, they say, yeah, your heart is larger than normal. I go, yeah, I got a big heart. I get it. You know?
That's the good.
But they said, no, it's the drug use. Christopher, heart's a muscle and it work harder and it's now congestive heart failure. So this eventually is going to kill me. You know what I'm saying? Is
Yeah.
what it is. It's manageable. They say you got another 25, 30 years if I do the right thing. And I am. I'm doing what they're telling me to do and trying to sort out some med issues right now. But it comes back down to what the government doesn't want us to know the truth. That's what this disinformation is all about. They communicated with these aliens and they were given the tools, they were given the knowledge, and they said, okay, you can't use this for military for the wrong purpose, this direction that we're going. And our government basically says, well, they ain't going to know. We're going to do what we want to do anyway. And they did. And these beings bailed on them. So now they hear a person like me. There's certain keywords, dude. And going back to this Paul or Daryl Anka dude, there's certain words that he uses, and I won't say them publicly
Yeah.
because we'll give somebody the tools to go fake things very easily. There's certain keywords that government agencies, certain individuals, very few individuals, certain keywords people use that they clue in and go, this person is for real and in contact with these beings.
Yeah.
They could tell what you're saying. There's certain words they use that you could tell, nah, this person's faking it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I do. Wow. Wow.
And it just all goes back to, dude, what did our government do to put us? They could have avoided this. You know what I'm saying? But here we are. We're in a mess.
Maybe
All
it
you
was,
gotta do is wake up and watch, turn on the TV, get on your computer.
yeah.
You know, what's going to change this? You know, disclosure. It's not going to come from the government. And I've been saying it for a long time. This disclosure,
Even if it does, it's not the right disclosure.
it's not, it's going to be misleading. It's going to be like this Epstein thing and this and that. It's- Personally, I think if Trump had this knowledge and he would have then come out with it because he would love to be known for that. Now, check this out. Say that the government's got the truth of these beings, what they're all about. And I believe there's certain entities in the government that do
Yeah.
know probably what I know. Okay. Are they going to share it with every president and every cabinet and all of these people? Dude, it would have come out a
No.
long time ago.
No.
That's way too many people to be sharing this with. I don't think the presidents know even more than your average person of the reality of these beings. Anything that comes out from them, I believe it's going to be a tool to mislead. It's like whistleblower. I find so irritating. This has become a term now that they use, Christopher, to tell somebody he's a whistleblower. He's honest. He's telling you the truth. He's going against the grain. It's being used to feed you false information. You're not going to question it. He's a whistleblower. I'm not going to question.
Well, it's funny because Matthew Brown talked about that, how when he was interviewed in the skiff, how it was like trying to get more information to lie to Congress, to deceive Congress, which is like the ultimate crime about things. And it is sad because I think we all need the truth, regardless how much it could affect. We all need the truth.
Mhm.
We need the truth.
Absolutely.
We need the truth because this is our lives. This is our lives.
Hmm.
And this is how it affects generations.
Hmm.
That is important. But yet it's almost like another form of control in some way. It's almost like I think the government knew they screwed up, and now they're trying to carp,
I
trying to
know.
contain it. You know what I'm talking about?
I know.
To contain it
Yes.
for any more further destruction, which the box is not big enough to do. I
I think
just, yeah,
I think you're right.
yeah.
I yeah, I think you're right, Christopher.
So
Um,
yeah. So before we go, I know we talked for a bit.
mhm.
Two questions I have for you.
Hmm.
One of them is going to be, and I want to say this at the end, is regards to your final thoughts with everything's going on. But the first thing is basically, what's your personal feeling and conversation with these beings is the true agenda. Again, I know you probably said it, but I want to make sure I summarize it in that section. The agenda of these beings.
What their agenda is. Um, Christopher, I don't know if agenda is the proper word because I think agenda gets associated as a negative
Okay,
association
that's
to it.
that's a fair
Okay,
point.
what?
Yeah, how about their message?
How about this? What are their intentions?
Yeah, that's a good point. Intention.
Everything
What's their
comes back
intention?
to intentions. My intentions, your intentions.
Yeah.
Their intention, dude, their intentions are not bad towards us. They're trying to steer us. So they tried back 70 years ago to steer us away from us destroying this planet, which is their biological warehouse. They cannot allow this planet to be destroyed. It's all about engineering life to basically colonize different star systems. We've got things mixed up, man, that they're coming here to watch us destroy ourselves, or we're a human zoo, or we're lab rats. Dude, it's all what they call the process of creation. It's the creation of life to basically spread it. Our scientists say the multiverse is expanding. That's why it's expanding. This is not a new process. So their intentions are to guide us. Basically, you have a pre-birth meeting. They help you decide what decisions. God helps you decide this is what I'm going to learn in this life. They will come in, just like with me. They will help me with higher mental development. They will help with creative development. Hendrix, Sammy Hagar, Bootsy Collins, fucking George Clinton, John Lennon. You can go on and on with different musicians that have these experiences with these beings.
It's
They're
funny.
guiding
It's
us.
funny. It's all about the musicians.
Indeed, it's a
All
lot of
the
musicians.
the ultimate frequency, the ultimate language, the universal language.
Well, you know what? There's a saying, Christopher, you can't take it with you. You can't take, houses and cars and boats and all of this. Dude, creative development, you take with you from life to life.
Agree.
That's why the musician thing. So, want to address this? They're guiding us. Dude, there are people that go through terror with these beings. But once again, it goes back to what I said. You have to learn the good and the bad, dude. You got to go through being a Jeffrey Dahmer to get to complete love. You got to go through terror with these beings to get to where I'm at. I consider love, angelic love, clarity. But I got 113 lives into working with these beings. It doesn't happen in one lifetime. Dude, this whole reincarnation process, we're each as individuals are going to go through a couple thousand, 2 to 3,000 lives to learn what it is to be complete.
Jesus,
Oh,
I'm a young guy.
a lot of them, Christopher, I wouldn't say you're as young as you think you are, and it shows in your intentions. An infant, baby soul person will be like a Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was very blasé. He killed, had sex with the dead bodies, ate them. Not a big deal to him. It was just another day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Um,
scary. Yeah.
and it goes back to their agenda. Their agenda is to help us achieve our individual life goals while they're creating life. And it's all connected together. It's almost like a school. We're in kindergarten. You got the Grays are getting their bachelor's degree. You got the frickin' reptilians are getting their master's degree. The Palladians are their PhD, postgraduate, and then God is the senior CEO. We're all gods in training. And their agenda is all of us working together to achieve that end goal of becoming gods. And one point, you're going to have your own universe. That's why the universe is expanding, which is odd. I'm not religious, but I've heard that the Mormons believe there's a level where you get your own universe. I don't know a
No,
lot of details.
no, I know about that.
You know what I'm talking about.
I no, I do because I was in the Mormon church for 3 years about how God was once man became God. I totally know the whole the religious aspect like there was yeah, I totally get that. Um
So
before we
that's
wrap,
that's
yeah.
my answer to the agenda thing.
My final question before we end
Yeah,
it
gotcha.
is what message in 2026 that you want to share with everybody? I know you said a lot already before. Maybe that could be that message, but any final thoughts for this 2026? And we'll have more episodes, of course, with you and I, especially when these come up, because I think you're well educated and well guided with your experience to share your
Thank you.
thoughts and concepts. Absolutely.
Thank
Any
you.
final thoughts to share with people out there you want them to know?
Yeah, you know what I want to say, Christopher? And they have told me this over and over and over for 39 years. If it wasn't meant to be, it wouldn't be happening. It might seem ugly, evil, however you want to label it. We're right where we're supposed to be, and things are going to unfold the way they're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Me going through my life, guns to my head, guns in my mouth, the drugs, the overdose, the heart attacks, all meant to be, man. It's all meant for me to achieve my goals. Goes back to something you said, intentions. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that's got to die when it's my turn to die. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I got to do what I feels right. You know what I'm saying? So someone doesn't want to believe in that and they want to do the wrong thing. They want to beat me up on Facebook and insult and make pictures of me and this. Hey man, that's on you, dude. You're the one's got to die when you got to die.
Amen, brother. Amen.
So it goes back to our intentions. What's meant to be is going to happen, Christopher. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Um, just do right by people. And I'm gonna say this with my whole recent coming close to dying, and I hate to use this for a soapbox for this, but sobriety, you know, if I didn't get sober 7 years ago, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. This would have killed me,
No.
you know?
Yeah.
And the other thing I got out of it is forgiveness, Christopher.
Amen.
Time to forgive and get past all the stupid, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Animosity and forgive people and move on. And there's a couple key people in my life that I am still working on that, and I got it. It's yeah.
I agree with everything you're saying on that. Actually, I have one last question. This is an easy one.
Hmm.
Before we end it. With your experience, all you've gone through, are you afraid to die?
Good question. Yes and no.
Yeah.
I did. I faced it more than you can count in this
That,
life,
that's
man.
that's why I asked the question.
Uh, I'm comfortable. I've done some things I'm not proud of. You know what I'm saying? I'm human, like you. I'm not perfect.
Who
You know,
hasn't? Who hasn't?
especially when I was younger, I was an idiot, dude. I didn't grow up till I was 38 years old.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to say I'm 100% comfortable, but it's an unknown, man. When it comes down to it, everything they've taught me, everything I've seen, you don't know until you die, dude.
The ultimate
We're
journey.
not, we're not going to know until we die. But I'm comfortable with who I am and where I'm going.
It's beautifully said, man. Okay, Gary, stay on. We'll debrief. Everybody out there, I just want to say thank you for listening to this first year episode with Gary White on Bound to Truth. I felt this is a very appropriate episode, especially with a lot that's going on, and that's what we're processing right now. And especially the conversation that Gary and I talked about, a lot of things that we're not saying. Again, I'm not saying that I'm right about a bunch of things. Gary has a lot of great insight, but something that we want to create what's called a think tank. Again, what's missing that I believe Gary would agree with is people don't think for themselves anymore. They need to really evaluate their lives, evaluate their relationships and about the surroundings about them. And at the end of the day, love each other, love yourselves. That's the important thing, man. Have peace with each other. Bitterness is a pill you swallow, hope the person gets sick. It's not worth it. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be sad, to feel those emotions. It's about being appropriate. And remember that everybody around you, when you feel those things, gets affected by those things. Handle things appropriately and and make sure you love yourself most importantly. Gary knows that. I know that. I don't have the experience like Gary does. That's why I love talking to him. That's why I thought this episode was appropriate to start the year with. But until next time, be safe, God bless, and again, see you on the other side. Good night.